Welcome to Montville High School here in scenic Southern Connecticut for this 15U matchup between the Greater Boston Rebels and the Southern New London County Mutiny. Second game of the day here for Mutiny football. This time it's the 15U squad looking for a better result than 14U was able to get, but against a different opponent. New slate, new group, and Charlie, it's going to be exciting.
Yeah, it should be excitement already getting going with our first quarter of action and early whistles to start things.
First kickoff takes a bounce on the whistle. And it looks like they're going to back things up already. For those of you who missed it earlier, the Southern New London County Mutiny is a youth spring football program for players ages 11 to 15 in southeastern Connecticut, providing not only playing opportunities to 70 children, but training, mentorship, leadership, and community building. And the Fans Only Sports Network broadcasted 5 of their 6 spring 2021 games.
Glad to be back here after last week, resuming here, and now in a successful kickoff, at least on the kick part.
A little cut move. Looked like Isaiah Edwards. He's got room to run. He's at the 30, and he is home free. Kickoff, return, touchdown, Isaiah Edwards, and the Mutiny go up 6-0.
That's one way to start the game, and you got to take another look at this one, as it started off a bit rough. You know, the ball was in the air and wasn't fielded cleanly, but once the ball was secure, just got going. Couple great moves up the middle, and just daylight ahead with the score there. What a way to start. Complete opposite from how how the Mutiny came out in our first game today.
Looked more like what the Pride were doing, but it's a new story here. Isaiah Edwards. He had 2 real threats on that return. Once he got by the second around the 40, you knew it was good for 6.
Some real strong athletic moves around to make it to the end zone. Here we go with 2.
2-point conversion. The handoff is in and good. That adds another 2 points for the Mutiny. And they are up 8-0 early here on the Fans Only Sports Network. We'll step aside. When we return, the Rebels will have a chance to answer. Welcome back here. It's quick 8-0 lead for the Mutiny.
Now just 14 seconds in, and that's what a kick return touchdown will do.
Something sorely lacking in the first game is immediate in the second for Mutiny football. Isaiah Edwards on that kickoff return, and now they'll kick it off. See the Rebels in these American flag uniforms. It looks like an onside kick. It passes the 10-yard limit, but I think the Rebels will remain with the ball.
That was a promising onside kick attempt for the most part. But it is our now first chance to see what the Rebels have to offer.
Looks like it'll be a first down at about the 46.
Pretty decent field position after the onside.
Absolutely. They're lined up and ready to go. Receiver to his right and left. The number 5 makes the catch and makes the cut on the left side. Breaks one tackle, but he is swarmed at the 49-yard line. So it'll go as a 2nd down and 6 on the 4-yard gain. Greater Boston Rebels trying to answer after a quick punch on the kickoff return.
Taking time in the huddle here. Trying to pick the perfect play.
Well, looks like they got good space on that cut to the right. Little sweep run. 5 in motion again. This time the snap is botched. The fumble is recovered. It looked like by Greater Boston. But man, what a disaster that could have been.
Able to get down on the football, but definitely could have been much worse. And it's been a rough start so far for Greater Boston.
Sloppiness to start. Without much margin for error here, down 8 already, but it is very early in this game. I think that goes without saying. We haven't even hit the 10-minute mark on the clock, but they're already feeling the pressure here from the Mutiny. Shotgun formation. 23 in motion. Snap goes to 7, and he is blitzed and taken down. Titus Streckfuss, the starting varsity linebacker in special teams as a freshman for Ledyard High School last year, and that proves why on the big-time sack.
Just explosive. Getting behind the line and in with the sack as the Mutiny have come out very, very strong here with their 15U squad.
4th down. Looks like it's going to be a punt here. Kick is a mile-high pop-up can of corn. They're going to let it bounce, and it takes a Greater Boston bounce just about the 29-yard line, where the Mutiny will pick it up after this break on the Fans Only Sports Network. Welcome back here to the Fans Only Sports Network. Andrew Fiore, Charlie Adams with you. Wide motion here. You can see 27 is all the way by the sideline for the Mutiny. The pass is over, and it's just dropped by Sean Moore. Streckfuss, the quarterback. Almost, he delivered the dart, but just dropped and stuffed by Sean Moore.
It's got to be fun for Streckfuss. You know, we mentioned being a varsity linebacker here in the NEYT, getting to line up under center and get some reps here for the Mutiny.
Snap by Streckfuss. He dodges pressure, rolls to his right. This time it is caught by Moore. Gets the first down and a few more yards, but a flag was in the backfield. Sean Moore, one of the best youth players in New England, according to our sheets here, and you can see with that size and versatility, you can see why he's gotten that praise.
Yeah, when you look at him for his size, for his age, and against Greater Boston, he's certainly a big presence to watch up the middle.
But it looks like the gain will be negated as that was a penalty on the Mutiny, so they're going to go way back here.
Now they're looking to get those yards back, way back. Definitely way back. 2nd and 25.
2nd and 25, like you just said. Streckfuss takes the snap, backs up, surveys his options, drops one, another dime to Moore. Moore shifting to his left. He's got a lane. He's at the 50. No one in his way. Sean Moore adds 6 to the scoreboard for the SNLC Mutiny, who now take a 14-0 lead. Sean Moore, the big back, delivers again.
Take another look at this big back up the middle, just dominating, and he switches fields. He was heading towards the far sideline, cuts back left, and look at the blocking from the Mutiny all the way down. Even the last man catches a block at the end of the play, making sure nobody comes near Moore as he crosses the end zone and gets in with another score for the Mutiny.
Mutiny just rolling, and you could see why it says Moore is one of the best youth players in New England. That man has the size and the speed. All-tool player here for the Mutiny.
Now it's 14-0. Did we not see a extra point?
I was just thinking that, but I thought I'd seem insane there. I didn't see an extra point attempted.
The touchdown's still on the board, but the way we're operating now, can't be too sure after the 2nd and 25 run if it stands. But this might be the attempt right here. I don't know. Scoreboard still says 14-0. That's what we'll trust here.
Tackle there. Chris Jimenez goes down. Yeah, it looks like it's business as usual here. I'm not quite sure why they didn't get an attempt at it, but or why they still have the ball even.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on the scoreboard. If that touchdown wipes away, oh, now they have 22. So either we missed a lot or they're trying to take the points off and they accidentally added points. Either way, we'll see. Oh, it keeps
yeah,
climbing.
I think they messed it up.
I don't remember seeing a penalty either, though.
I think Moore. Oh, there's a penalty. Moore is so good that his touchdowns count for 94 points. No, they've got it back down to 0. Meaning we are just about set after this flag brings the Mutiny further down.
So all that excitement for not turns out, but it's a warning shot at least that we know what the Mutiny are capable and specifically what Sean Moore is capable of delivering here. Pretty good gain there on 2nd down.
Quality run there.
Either a yard, yeah, they'll mark him short, but
So they call it, there's something about blocking I hear from the fans in the stands.
3rd and 1, it looks like. Maybe 3rd and inches at that point, and they'll just move the chains for a first.
Oh, Looks like a huddle going on here by the sideline. First down is currently where we stand. Again, there's been some confusion, but the touchdown by Moore was taken back. And now they trot back on the field.
Geared up for 1st and 10 once again. Nearly past midfield.
Big run there, a gain of about, looked like 8 or 9 yards. Big cut move, exactly what they needed.
Definitely chunk plays here for the Mutiny. Get right up there to the Greater Boston 45-yard line.
Streckfuss directing his offense. Drops back. Decides to go to Edwards. Edwards, a little cut move, but it runs into 2 defenders.
Plenty for a first.
So it looks like the little screen option there worked out.
Edwards right on time with his assignment, finishing it perfectly here from Montville High School.
Just in the nick of time, a buzzer beater to wrap up an impressive academic career. Too many people to thank here, but getting that buzzer beater in. I can't think of a better place to end the final assignment there, as it's Streckfuss who drops the ball. Greater Boston lands on it. It's number 44 who comes up with it. A big break for Greater Boston. At first they were down 14-0, and now they've got a chance to tie it on this drive.
Big swings of momentum here between penalties and everything just colliding. And this time, seriously colliding with the ball coming loose, and great job to just drop onto it and get the turnover secured. And last week, it was a lot of these kind of misplayed snaps, but it was mostly not just like that kind of a drop, but just snaps straight over the quarterback's head that turned into turnovers for the Mutiny and kept them behind all game. So here, a bit more on Streckfuss there, and we'll see how he bounces back, because we know what he can do on the defensive side of the ball.
Streckfuss had that big sack for 4th down, and as well as some impressive throws. And now he's got a wide open lane. Couldn't cover, but a great stop by the defensive back there, Dorian Green, who's a track standout as well. One of many on this team, and he used that speed to catch up and break up the catch.
Yeah, just a lot of athleticism on the field, and you know, you saw Streckfuss there, one-on-one coverage getting tested, and the Rebels end up going for a shorter option and not able to get much done at all with the incompletion.
Back to pass, 17, rolls to the left, screen pass over to 26. Nowhere to run as he is taken down, but he made some good progress to get back to the line of scrimmage there.
Just fighting his way as forward as possible. And those American flag numbers on some of the jerseys for the Rebels are very nice.
I was going to mention that earlier, and all of them have it on the sleeves. I was going to comment. I like that 4th of July look, and I'm wondering, is there anything that determines who has the red, white, and blue on the numbers?
Not
Not
too
that
sure.
you would know,
Yeah,
but
yeah. But see if our cameraman Evan can zoom into those jerseys a little closer for the Rebels here. And all of them seem to say family on the nameplate. And yeah, you get a good look at the stripes. Oh, wow. There's even more detail to them. Got the stars even along the side of them.
Ooh. Man, I love that. That is a clean uniform.
So very patriotic here in the NEYT with this play.
Big tackle there, Isaiah Edwards, who does multiple travel sports at once.
That tackle for a loss for now a 4th down opportunity. We already saw the Rebels punt, which we did not see once in our first game from either team. It's 4th and 16.
And it looked like they were going to have a big chance to catch up here. Big 4th down coming. But it looks like they're going to move up the placement, so it's only going to be a 4th and 10.
Helpful penalty there.
Looks like it's still a 4th. Tight formation. Or no, they're going to punt it here. Almost having an angle on the block there was Quamel Wright. Here comes a big return. Edwards, all the room in the world. One man to beat, and he beats him. Touchdown once again, Isaiah Edwards. His 2nd return touchdown of the game. This man is on fire, and he finally, for real this time, puts up a 14-0 lead.
There is a flag on the field. You always have, especially so far this game, got to take a chance to look around the field, and laid up right around the 32-yard line. There is a flag, and the scoreboard won't put the penalty on the board. We'll see where the ball ends up. It looks like it'll still be Greater Boston in possession.
Wow. So 2 touchdowns taken back.
And the marker moves up another 5 yards. Now 4th and 5 after being 4th and 15. And now we're going to get a timeout before we can even see what the 4th and 5 brings.
Timeout coming. We will be right back here after this break on Fans Only Sports Network.
Welcome back in. 4th and 5 looming for the Rebels.
Fourth and 5 looks like they're still punting here. High snap, corrals it. Mile high punt. Takes a short bounce, so it'll be nice field position for the Mutiny at about the 45.
Yeah, and everyone sort of feels pretty good about that play. The Rebels, instead of giving up a kick return touchdown, have a bit of a short punt, but still have a chance to stop the Mutiny on defense, who could easily be at about a 20-plus lead at this point if it weren't for penalties. We saw running clock in our first game by the end of the first quarter, and we were almost at that pace with the Mutiny this time around, but just costly penalties so far.
And it's going to be a stuffed run at the line of scrimmage now. Not much progress there. Second down. Looks like they gained about a yard.
We've seen pretty good yards per carry so far for the Mutiny. I'm sure they hope to continue it like they have.
In the backfield, Streckfus having a word with his teammate. Comes set, the snap, runs to the left, squeezing through and gaining the first down. The QB keeper, Titus Streckfus, squeaking through the tightest of gaps. Making that work for a first down.
Definitely a strong run there. And as you mentioned, enough for a first. We're already under a minute to go here in the first quarter.
Ball placed at the 45. Streckfus in the shotgun at the 50. Backs up, surveys, makes a throw on a crossing route. It is caught by Marcus Davis, who is promptly pushed out of bounds.
Another productive play. Leaves 39 seconds. Clock gets back underway. Of course, it's just the first quarter. It doesn't really matter whether the Mutiny hurry up to end our first.
Backing up is Streckfus. Long throw across is caught. Shaking one tackle is Rivas. Rivas making the impact on that play. 10 seconds to go. Looks like they're content to end the first quarter. Mutiny could have been up more, but they're up 8-0, threatening in the greater Boston zone. Actually, the clock is going to stop there. They're going to try to get one more play.
Did they use a timeout to stop the clock?
Looks like there's a flag on the field that's going to send the Mutiny all the way back to the 49.
Penalties have been a big part of this game. Much more of an impact in our 15U matchup so far. And here it keeps the quarter alive for another play. Ten seconds and probably just one more play in this first quarter.
I can't imagine they try to go for something big here, but try to get another big run.
The penalty really shifted things after it looked like they were driving now all the way back at the greater Boston 44.
Streckfus. Quick toss to Edwards. Edwards squeaking through the hole. Almost loses the ball. Breaks a tackle. He's got room to run. One tackler from behind. Cannot take him down. At the buzzer, Edwards puts them up at long last 14-0. Well, getting tackled from behind.
Kick the pylon down, and looks like they're going to call it down at the 1 from what I'm hearing. All huddled up here with zeros on the clock. They'll have to take that 1 yard rush from the other side of the field. So at the end of the first quarter, officially now the Mutiny up 8-0, but certainly could be a play away from a touchdown after it looked like Edwards might have made it in just a play ago.
One play away from a touchdown after the second time Edwards had one reversed. He's crossed into the end zone 3 times. Only one of them has counted.
Still been a great game for him, and definitely not as good on the stat sheet as it's really been with how many plays he's had negated from him.
Taking it in himself was Streckfus. Looks like he got it. This time, 4th time's the charm, as now they finally get, at long last, that second touchdown. It's 14-0.
Definitely hard fought for the Mutiny. Could have been a lot more had there been a lot less penalties. But ultimately, a touchdown nonetheless. And another chance to add on here. No confusion about where the 2-point conversion attempt is going to be this time around. Finally, a score with no flags. It's been a while.
It has. I mean, most of those were Edwards, but this time it's Streckfus who runs it in himself. Looks like we've got an injured player on the field, though.
Been some injury timeouts across today.
There have. It's always unfortunate to see, you know.
And good time to mention the Southern New London County Independent Youth Football Club is looking for sponsors. Sponsors are wanted for their spring youth football teams ages 11 to 15. Email snlcfootball20@gmail.com for details and package options. www.snlcfootball.org, hashtag SNLC football, hashtag let's start a mutiny. As we are nearing the return to game action.
Looks like they're getting him off the field in time. As the Mutiny try to get back here on that 2-point conversion and make it a 16-point game.
Referees just talking with players here. And now we're ready to go.
Struckfist under center. He's got Christopher Jimenez behind him, but he takes it himself. They're pushing for help, looking for that extra yard. They're going to blow the whistle. No good. So the score remains 14-0 here on the Fans Only Sports Network. Stay with us, folks. It's a tight one. Welcome back here. Kickoff for the Mutiny against Greater Boston. It's a short one, attempting the offside, and it is immediately blown down by a whistle. We've heard a lot of whistles today.
Definitely, and it's cost the Mutiny points, and it's really gotten this game prolonged. This second quarter, we've been here for a while, and it's only been 7 seconds so far. It's an offsides on the Mutiny.
So they'll do it again.
See if they take the same approach as the first kickoff. Looks like they will. And good job falling on that ball from number 17. Ended up right at her. Or right at him, excuse me. And the Rebels are far from out of this game.
Definitely. I mean, it's early. 2-touchdown game. You're never really out of it. Mutiny defense looks hyped up. You can look at that. Some singing going on. It looks like I see Keon Flemings. We'll get some of these fun facts going. Tristan Parker is the emotional leader of the 15U team and one of the best players in the state. And I see him starting to dance around there too.
I don't know if any of these fun facts are going to beat what we had for 14.
No. I don't know if any of these guys accidentally ate an ant off an apple.
Or maybe some did and weren't willing to admit it, but...
Yeah, where's the fun in these facts?
Is there anyone who is as intelligent in their reading as our friend Kareem Moy from the 15U CT Pride team, or 14U CT Pride team?
I doubt it. I really can't see a reality, but that was a big tackle for loss. And I guess, you know, it's got to be fun for these guys. Even though the facts aren't as fun, these talented players, having those is certainly fun when you're nonstop winning.
And you see that with the kind of jump in competitiveness between 14 and 15U, where a lot of these games really start to matter even more. And some guys for the SNLC Mutiny, like number 42, Steven Soares, is already receiving college football offers at 15 years old.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. That is just, for Soares, the family's got to be proud of that because that is a rare accomplishment. But you got to be proud, too, of Juju Pinkney, who always gives 100% effort on every single play, which, as we know, not every athlete can do. Long throw, 3 defenders in the area. The receiver had it in and out of his hands. That's going to be a 3rd down. Mutiny defense stepping up here.
Couple of big stops and not allowing much at all on the 3rd and 17 now.
Third and 17, 10:37 to go in a slow-moving second quarter.
Approaching the 9-minute mark, or a 10-minute mark at this point.
Number 7 in shotgun formation. He's got one back with him. He drops back. Heavy pressure coming. The pass is almost intercepted by Dorian Green. Streckfuss providing the pressure there, flushing him out to the left. And it was Dorian Green attempting to break it up. My goodness, this defense on this drive.
Yeah, you definitely wanted that one badly.
Another 4th down. Hoping to force another punt here, and it looks like they have.
It's kind of refreshing to see a team willing to punt, though.
Yeah, you know, after a lot of 4th down conversion attempts early on.
We even saw a 4th and 25 touchdown back in our first game, which is available for free on demand following its conclusion, so you can watch last game. Look at this reversing field.
Flag goes down on this peculiar play. You were right, there was some reversing trickery here. We'll see what comes of it.
Seems like, especially on these special teams plays, we're seeing a lot of flags come in.
Definitely. And really not letting the kids play here today.
It's the same refereeing crew as our first game, too, so. Really big contrast between what we saw in our 14U versus the 15U.
$10:15 to go. Again, it's been a slow first few minutes of this quarter.
It's been just about as long as the entire first, it feels like. Not much progress on the field. Though Mutiny were able to get a touchdown and add to the lead.
This game grinding to a halt.
And they're halfway to the running clock that was put against their 14U team a game ago.
I believe I see another flag out there.
Is there a delay of game in these games? I don't know if we've seen one yet, but we had to be getting close at that point. From what I'm hearing, I think the referee crew thought the Mutiny had 12 on the field when it was only 11. That's why the flag was just picked up.
Streckfus takes the snap, finally back underway, dodges pressure, somehow still on his feet. Streckfus, what have you got? Throw to the sideline there. As he was almost sacked. Impressive Allen-esque play to stay on his feet.
Yeah, you do see a lot of Josh Allen when you think of Streckfus there, especially on that kind of play. That would have been a fun thing to include on the fact sheet for these teams is NFL comparisons.
Ooh, they should do that. That would be really incredible.
When you look at a guy like an emotional leader for the Mutiny, think of Matthew Slater kind of guy as another bomb downfield.
The Gronk comparison coming out for Sean Moore, plowing through these defenders on that long throw by Streckfus. Just commanding this offense, which is kind of what you see from Patrick Mahomes.
A little bit. And on that football, we have some frustration after the referee gives the possession up to the Rebels. So a turnover on what looked like a strong play. And take a look at it as just coming up with the catch, fighting through about 4 players trying to tackle him, and by the end of it, the ball comes out, and it's now Rebels football.
Fascinating turn of events here in Montville. Another possession shift.
Montville's a bit outside of our normal jurisdiction for the Fans Only Sports Network, but great place to be here on a Saturday evening. No better place to be.
Nowhere I'd rather be. I was just going to say it myself.
That is the NEYT 15U action.
Big pass downfield. Oh, my goodness. Number 15 over. It was mossed. Isaac Rivas, who almost had the interception. Nice coverage there by Rivas.
Yeah, there's definitely...
It's not spelt like R-E-V-I-S, but he definitely plays like it.
Yeah, he was on an island there, too, one-on-one.
Absolutely. 17 chucked up the ball. It's 2nd and 10. Still 9:45 left to go in this quarter.
These incompletions, you know, last game in the 14U, with the ball on the ground a lot more, you saw the clock run even when it wasn't running clock here. Those incompletions really being felt, especially in this quarter. It seems like almost every play has been through the air.
.17 calling his troops. Goes under center. Snaps it. Design run to the left. He's getting chased and almost hit out of bounds there. It was a combination of Streckfus and Green chasing him out.
And the clock will continue to run. Stayed in bounds when he was taken down to bring up 3rd and 10. The Mutiny halfway to, as I mentioned earlier, that 28-point mark. Currently working a shutout. Pretty good day on defense so far.
They're trying to preserve that here, 3rd and long. Expect another big pass attempt here. 17 backing up. Lets it fly, but it's intercepted. On the return, looking for 6, but he's going to just go out of bounds there. It was Quamel Wright. Quamel Wright, huge clutch pick.
Let's take another look as for one time here today, you can actually check around the field and see no flags against the Mutiny, so it looks like this interception will stand. It's really right at right, and he brings it in.
All the right stuff.
And he goes right down into the red zone, right around the 5-yard line, or excuse me, right around the 20-yard line.
I'm going to have to write these down.
Yeah. Got a pretty Eminem heavy playlist here.
It is. It's been playing all day.
Eminem honestly might be back. He dropped a song.
Did he?
He dropped a song. I don't know how old it is.
That last album was pretty terrible. The Death of Slim Shady.
Yeah.
It was pretty horrific.
I don't know when this album dropped, but he had a song with 50 Cent in here, and it said 2009 as part, or it said '09 on it. I don't know if that means it's from '09 because it sounded Curtain Call 2, so it's 2022, a while ago. But there's a song on here featuring 50 Cent.
Is This Love?
Yep. And it has '09 on it. I'm not sure if this means that it's from 2009.
Yeah, I see the apostrophe there.
That might explain. It is an unreleased song from 2009, so that's probably why it's so much better than what you're used to.
Death of Slim Shady was horrific, dude.
Yeah, but
when I listened to that on a flight, and I immediately washed my taste. And I'm relatively new to rap, so I was catching up on some iconic albums.
why was that on the list?
Well, no. I was doing that anyway, and then he dropped it, and I was like, oh, let me listen to this. It was right when it came out. Hated it. Needed to cleanse my palate. Put on Forever Story. Favorite album ever.
There you go.
Love Forever Story. Do you see he's dropping in August?
Yeah.
JID.
JID is really one of the best. Like when
Rising
you look at
star, dude.
You look at Dreamville too, especially.
That's a cut. And just good for the first down by Quamel Wright. And if JID's new album is anything like Forever Story, I mean, it's going to hit. And he delivers on every sample as well.
Well, we just got our first official appearance from Baby Keem in Forever.
Yes,
back
at the Grand National Tour.
Grand National Tour in day 2 in New Jersey.
Dude, if the tickets weren't $1 billion, I would be there at Gillette in a few days.
170. It's not horrible.
Really?
Yeah, it
went
wasn't
down
horrible.
for the last time. Since the last time.
I was on the Game Time app seeing what they are up to and said, all right. And then I saw the weather, and I said, okay, we got to go. After one of my classmates.
Did you get tickets?
Yeah.
Whoa.
I got them yesterday. So
really?
Maybe they're only going down. I think the view should be fine.
Chip toss to Edwards. He's got a lane. Taken down, man. This is the 3rd time now. He has been right on the edge of scoring a touchdown. 3rd or 4th time, honestly.
Depends how you count some of these special teams plays that could have gone his way. But
Edwards has been balling, and he's got 1 touchdown to show for it, but he could have several more.
And you know what player comp comes to mind when you think of that kind of player is definitely that's a Jahmyr Gibbs type player right there.
Like that.
It's Jahmyr Gibbs right there. And it's hard to give a quarterback a David Montgomery comp, but he got the touchdown the last time we were in this spot. We'll see what they draw up here.
Hand off this time. Wide open gap. It looked like he punched it home. It was Nicholas DeMars. Did they give it to him?
Taking their time to make sure. walk their way. Both
No,
referees
looks like he
meet.
didn't. Looks like he did not. So it'll be third down. Goal line. Speaking of NFL comps, are we going to see a tush push here? I doubt it, but you never know.
Yeah, you don't really want to be practicing a play at this level that's not going to be allowed by the time you make it big. We'll see. We'll see how it shakes out over there.
Well, look at this tight formation.
Imagine.
2 backs behind him. Streckfuss right there. Hands it off once again. This time it's good for Nicholas DeMars. No tush push necessary for DeMars, who gets the 3rd touchdown of the game to make it 20-0 in favor of the Mutiny. Short yardage situation. DeMars is the guy.
You knew they were going to find their way into the end zone eventually. Just a matter of time, and that time it took a few plays. And I guess Isaiah Edwards is not the goal line running back here. He's not getting these touches right when he brings it to the 1 yard line. But
jeez, I mean, that's the second time that's happened to him, and he had the 2 touchdowns overruled. So 2 overruled, 2 that were on the 1, and then the touchdown. So that would have been 5 touchdowns.
Yeah, he's seriously having himself a day.
Saquon Barkley-esque.
Just ending up with nothing to show for it besides a lot of yards. The 15U Mutiny are having a great time out here.
I don't know if you saw that interception just now on the sideline with these kids playing football, but the kid with the hood up just made a nice pick.
I think these might be some of our 14U players, too, with the pants on. 2 of them, at least, still in half uniform.
He just got another. Man, this kid's lethal. If he's not on the 14U team, he should be. Black Air Force energy.
We might have seen, or we did see plenty of interceptions in that game as the snap went all the way back.
Streckfuss delivers a dart, but it's through the hands of Rivas.
Trying to make something out of nothing there on the 2-point attempt. And now that 28 mark is still in question a bit with a 2-point conversion needed. And it's definitely cooled off in here. We were worried about getting burned inside of our press box game 1. Now it's toasty 60 degrees. That's what it says, but it doesn't. That's probably all right. Maybe it's a little colder than that at this point inside. But the sun has certainly left us.
It feels like the sun was up when this quarter started, though.
Yeah. We're officially halfway over with the second quarter. By 1 second, 5:59 to go in the first half.
Well, the game started an hour ago, so even though it feels so long, it's not horribly unrealistic when you think about it, that a game would be 2.5 hours. Short kick collected by number 50, swiftly taken down at the 45. Pride feel like time is running out, but they do have a lot of time to work with, especially after the second half when they'll have made some adjustments.
Yeah, the Rebels definitely have some time to work on things, but, costly turnover in their last possession. Now, lining things back up. Thanks to some of the sponsors here for the NEYT, Charter Oak Federal Credit Union, Fans Only Sports Network, Pitch Perfect Gutters, and along with one of our favorites as well, as I wait for the ticker to scroll over to it. Plenty of great sponsors, including Coastal Crave Nutrition.
Tight formation here. Chip toss to 10. Flag is down, and it's going to be Strickfus on the tackle, but we'll see what the penalty is. Yet another flag here.
Yeah, it's certainly been the penalties that have slowed this game down.
I feel like I'm watching a Chiefs game in the final minutes here with all the flags flying.
The penalties declined there. It was against the Rebels, and the penalty decline should mean a 2nd and long coming up. Both teams back huddled. It looks like a timeout was taken there. 2nd and 15 coming up. This is a pretty important possession here for the Rebels. No better time than now. Try to work your way onto the scoreboard before the end of the first half. Looks like they're ready to get back going with 2nd and long.
Long spread formation here. Expect a pass. 2 to the right, 2 to the left. The snap. He backs up, swings right. Facing 2 blitzers. Running out of space. A big jump there. And the tackle is taken by Sean Moore. Tristan Parker jumping up. Again, the emotional leader of the team, one of the best players in the state. Leapt in his face, giving enough time for Sean Moore, one of the best players in New England, to make the tackle.
A lot of teamwork there, and if they tried to throw the ball, I'm sure it would have got swatted down with that leap, but instead it brings a 3rd and 25 after the 10-yard loss. We've dipped clearly into WWE and wrestler theme music in general. We've heard John Cena multiple times, moved on to CM Punk, and now Edge or Adam Copeland or now Cope, his theme music playing. Metalingus, a very good song in its own right, outside of the wrestling bubble. An incompletion there, stops play with 4:37. Now here's a 4th and 25 from deep in the greater Boston territory. The first down marker is all the way at the greater Boston 45. This punt is going to be sent away from the 20.
Looks like it's caught by Streckenfuss. He's got room on the right. Looking for a block. He slows down now, cuts the other way, swing into the middle, and in the end zone. Or excuse me, that was Dorian Green on the touchdown. And the Mutiny go up 26-0.
And that's a punt return that will actually stay on the scoreboard here. And a great cut to get the final yards needed. And into the end zone, now 2 points away from going up by 28. And we know what 28 points would mean. This play would end with running clock. Into the end zone, a catch and a cross. And there you are with your 28th point of the game. Right to the corner of the end zone, just barely across. Able to work in for 2. And the Mutiny now with 4:20 remaining in the second half have earned running clock unless the Rebels can respond here.
It's been tough for the Rebels, but the Mutiny have earned this running clock. Again, they had some frustrations in terms of some called back touchdowns.
Yeah, it could have been much earlier. Kickoff time here.
And it's down at the 40. So a big drive for the Rebels.
Clock currently stopped here.
In baseball news, Brett Beatty just hit a 3-run home run after homering yesterday to make it 4-3. Cubs still leading, but 3-run homer for him. He has hit home runs in every game since I called him out on my show.
Oh, there you go. Brett Beatty, Luis Angel, Acuna, a lot of young talent.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, not to mention Soto, Lindor, Alonso, the big 3 there.
Clay Holmes.
Oh, yeah. That pitching staff? Griffin Canning, of all people. Balling out of his mind.
Yeah, we thought it was going to be a big question mark for the Mets, especially when your ace was Clay Holmes, who wasn't a starter.
As a fan, I was terrified, but they've been fantastic. That's a long, deep throw. It is just dropped by number 5.
Could have been the big play they needed. And the clock stopped again. Under an impression that it would be a running clock. And now it starts back up.
Down to the 3-minute mark here in the half.
Mets with the top team ERA in baseball.
Senga's been on another planet. You got Sylor McGill balling out as well. They're down 4-3 today, but it's just been a great season as... Oh, a collision there on the handoff, and he got pancaked as a result.
And Connecticut's a bit interesting when it comes to baseball with their fandom. Really, when you look around New England, you can kind of pick out what states are Red Sox, what states can be Yankees fans. And Connecticut's really down the middle with where it's located. You have guys like Anthony DePino's a Yankees fan, and he's right in central Connecticut.
Right in Madison.
Yeah, and I saw that. I even looked up a map of where the Yankees and Red Sox are usually located in Connecticut. It's pretty regionally based with how you'd expect, the ones closest to Massachusetts. But Madison did seem like a Red Sox town for the most part.
3rd and 15, QB keeper. He sprints all the way down. Is met with a hard hit by Isaac Rivas, but a big run, and he knows it. Hyped up as can be. What a run that was. Josh Allen again, the comp coming. But yeah, I live on the border of Rhode Island and Connecticut, and I know a ton of Yankee fans. It's almost like 60-40, and it's in Rhode Island. So the map isn't this clear-cut thing, you know? There's a lot of Yankee fans in my town, especially the older Italians.
Yeah, and both teams with being like storage franchises,
Yes.
You'll meet people anywhere who are either fans. You know, you'll find people from, I know people from like Virginia who are Yankees fans, and then there's people from like Manhattan who are Yankees fans. Like, okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. You can be a Yankees fan. And then the ones from Virginia, you need an explanation, and it's usually a family member, something like that.
Big hit on the quarterback, but he got the throw off in time. It was Quamel Wright on the sack.
And with time running down in the running clock, the Rebels are going to have to be very, very careful about how they manage the clock here late in this quarter and late in this half. This is all that they have left. And with that in mind, they'll use one of their timeouts here with 28.3 seconds left to play in the second. They're already back onto the field here.
28-0, 28.3 seconds to go.
28.3. If you took the point and turned it into a dash, it would
I was thinking the same thing.
get
That number,
very, very familiar.
pattern recognition, kicks in for us New Englanders.
That had to be like the best moment as a fan that I've ever watched. Even though it's not like the Patriots are, of course, they're up there, but they're not my Red Sox or anything. But
Here's the
watching
thing.
that,
I went to bed early. I was still new to football. It's the biggest regret of my life.
that's rough. That is rough.
I'm never living that down. Swinging back to the logo, a new quarterback, number 7, threw it too low. And I wonder if 17 is injured. Again, we apologize for not having the rosters for the Rebels. Well, we have names, we don't have numbers. That's the problem.
Intended target on that pass has no jersey, so that wouldn't have helped us either way. Another timeout taken with 10 seconds to go, as the Rebels needing to stop the clock with the running clock in effect. Yeah, there's nothing beating 28-3. You knew you were watching history when you were watching it.
You knew when
Yeah.
you were watching it. I went to bed. I was sick, and I had to get ready for school, and I was relatively new to football, and it was 28-9, and I will never live that down. 17's back in the game. High snap. Rolls to his right. Now cuts up inside, slides down. Trying to stop the clock, presumably, but he's not going to do so. That'll do it for the first half here. All Mutiny from Montville. We will be back here on the Fans Only Sports Network after this. We are back here. Andrew Fiore, Charlie Adams with you on the Fans Only Sports Network. The Southern New London County Mutiny hold a 28-0 lead, which is territory for a running clock. This team is running on all cylinders. Tymir Smith, the nephew of assistant coach Fisher, and the most entertaining person on the team, is on the sideline cheering on his team from the stands here, getting ready to get back out there. The kickoff is smothered by the Rebels. Greater Boston Rebels need to work some magic here.
That clock is ticking officially, and that's bad news for the Rebels.
Rebels down 28. Haven't really come close to the red zone. Not that I can recall. I don't know about you. But
just been missed opportunities. They've had some, while they haven't really gotten downfield, they've had some open chances and really have started to notice like dropped passes that could have been a big part of the day for the Rebels, ending up just incompletions and missed opportunities. Already a minute across. We took at least 10 minutes to get a minute across in our second quarter.
Nice little change of pace here, especially if you're the Mutiny. It's still number 7 in at quarterback. You wonder what happened when he got bumped there. I see 17 on the sideline. Rolling to his right now, and he immediately gets swallowed up. Here comes Smith out on the field.
Nice 2nd and 12 chance here.
Again, it's 2nd and long, 2nd and 12, as you said. Clock running.
What is going on the
I
track?
was just watching that. It's.
I mean, we're waiting for this play to get going, and someone just got Gronk spiked on the sideline. This is insane.
Kid's got his headphones on at the same time.
We mentioned them earlier, too. Some competitive one-on-ones.
Handoff there immediately swallowed up. It's 3rd down. Those kids are getting yelled at as they were under the tarp of that camera. They have to relocate. Yelled at by the PA announcer is something I've never seen.
That's an expensive piece of equipment there.
Never seen one quite like that.
Yeah, if it's windy, it would make a lot of sense to tie it down like that, although it's not really tight, some of these ropes here, but not too much wind, and I don't know if the camera's moving too much, but
You got
better
those
safe than
Gatorades
sorry.
awfully close there, so luckily it's on a pole. But if that thing goes down, it's over.
Yeah.
Back under 7, or it looks like it's 17. He hands it off, and it's a long run that's immediately stuffed. Big tackle there for the Mutiny.
Now 4th down. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers listening.
Absolutely. I'm sure a ton of mothers are watching, seeing their kids play for the Mutiny or the Rebels.
It's coming up sooner than you know, 3 hours away until it's officially Sunday. Now we'll get a punt here from the Rebels.
Long kick up. It's a good one, but it's gathered around the 45. Breaking a tackle is Strekfus. Strekfus, spin move! Oh my goodness, Strekfus! That is the shot! He strolls into the end zone with a Madden-like spin move. Touchdown recovery, his second touchdown of the game. Puts the Mutiny up 34-0.
And, of course, we have to take another look at this play right here as another touchdown score. And what a way to get it done. This special teams unit is special. Just punt it away. And just peak athleticism. Spin move right around him. And house call once again on the return.
Like a Madden play there. Titus Strekfus, player of the game so far. The quarterback had a big-time sack and now a kick-off return. He has big plays on defense, offense, and special teams. My goodness.
Well, we've seen a lot of juke moves from everyone around here. Saw, I believe, another Isaiah Edwards play. I think there was a juke move. I don't know if it counted by the end of the day, but it still happened for sure.
I think Strekfus could be the quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers, who are definitely in need. Maybe the New Orleans Saints after Derek Carr retired today.
Yeah. Derek Carr, definitely. Made a lot of news at this point in the NFL season when he called it quits.
Watch out, Spencer Rattler. Your job is in danger. Titus Strekfus is knocking on the door. Looked like the two-point conversion was no good, by the way. So it remains 34-0. That's one thing they haven't been able to do is convert those today. But it hasn't mattered.
Yeah, not too much. This is just completely the opposite of what we saw the 14U team face off, with the 15Us flipping the script.
Five minutes to go. And they will call. It looks like a... I thought they were calling timeout for a second, but it looks like they're just taking their time. Switching units here.
I think we're done with the kickoffs like we were last game.
Yeah.
Good call.
Absolutely. I mean, it's 34-0. Are we going to see two blowout shutouts here? Because not only are these blowouts, they're shutouts too. That's an important thing to remember. The defenses have been huge. And again, Strekfus played a big part in that.
Yeah, he's a big part for his varsity squad and big part here today as well. Just talented player, one of many for the Mutiny. They weren't lying on their fact sheet when they were mentioning all the top players in the state and youth football all around. A lot of them have really made their presence known here today.
Handoff right into a bundle of linemen there. Thought I had a better term. Too slow on the draw here. That's what happens when you've been calling games for about 4 hours straight.
All gas, no brakes. Pushing towards the fourth quarter, though. Nearly 3 minutes to go, and not much rush from this Rebels team to get back out there with the running clock.
When we came in, there was a ball game being played next door. Wonder how that turned out. I've seen some kid baseball players here wearing Crush jerseys, so I assume it was Little League. High snap. 17 steps back, lets it fly. On the money, first down. Spinning tackle, trying to bring him down. And needing some help there was Revis.
Looked like he might have been going for a suplex there, and then his teammate came in to secure the tackle the boring way. Just team tackle instead. But I think if you let that play out one-on-one, that was going to be Suplex City.
Two and a half to go. Rebels running out of time.
Definitely running out of time right here. Straddling midfield with the markers.
I'm trying to remember. I don't know if you can remember this better, but how far do you think the Rebels have gotten on the field so far today? I can't say they've gotten further than the 30. I'd imagine.
Yeah, that's where I was looking at. I think the 30-yard line is a pretty safe bet, or at least 30-yard line in Mutiny territory.
Fake handoff, run to the right, and he's taken out of bounds right about the line of scrimmage there.
They've made some big plays, and they've made one just a couple moments ago where the ball actually came in and was caught for once. You know, we've seen a lot of drops so far.
Just about a minute to go here. Rebels still scoreless, trying to break the drought, at least get a touchdown to go home happy with. It's got to be a long ride for them back up to the Boston area.
Yeah, greater Boston, and, you know, this venue, as far as venues go, we've mentioned parts of it. Their concession stand is officially a very solid option, but also their parking is probably some of the best parking options you can get.
I couldn't
at a
believe
football
how
stadium.
close.
Yeah, you are right on top of it right here. Not a walk at all. Someone looked maybe a little quick on that one.
Switching to the left side. On the run is 17. He's at the 40. Sliding in at the 30. Another first down for him. He has not had a bad game, especially on his legs. But the clock winds down to 20.
See if we get a playoff. It doesn't. It's going to take a lot, and these referees don't look like they're going to get the playoff more specifically than anyone else.
They were thinking about it, but with 4 seconds to go, they're content to let it go, and that'll do it for the third quarter now. 34-0 is your score here at the end of the third. Stay with us on Fans Only Sports Network.
strong interception to get things going in the fourth quarter. And that running clock will continue to run on. Nice run play here. Should be enough for a first down. Once this clock started running, the flags stopped coming out. Probably not much of a coincidence there. That one did move the chains.
Another run off to the side, and it's going to be stuffed down. Looked like there might have been a flag there. Or it was just blown dead.
It's busy times around here. End of the college school year, and Mother's Day tomorrow. Kendrick Lamar on Monday, and then best of all, URI versus UMass Lowell on Tuesday.
Is my guy Alex Lucchini playing for the... Oh, what a dart over there across the middle. It is caught by Noah Planeta. Planeta switched directions on that one. Crossed across the middle, and it's a first down with 8 to go. But Alex Lucchini, a UMass Lowell guy, he was on the Mystic Schooners in 2023 with Anthony DePino.
He will be there. I know he's on the roster at least.
My man, he was a Schooner for like 2 weeks, my first year there. But yeah, I'm jealous of those Kendrick tickets, man. That's going to be a show. That's going to be a show and a half.
My first concert. Why not?
Really?
Why
I've never been to one
there?
either.
Yeah.
Wow. Shout out Tim Yeen. He said he'll send me clips. I was texting him about it. We love Tim Yeen. And there's a flag.
Clock keeps ticking. Tim Yeen, a Fans Only Sports Network standout.
Absolutely.
One of the top 3 most tenured behind Tim Duffy. And then I think I'm in third at this point.
Well, I'm technically not tenured anymore. I'm a mercenary now.
Full freelance.
Absolutely. But yeah, you guys are going to have a blast. I am sure of it.
Yeah, it's
good. I was thinking about it a while ago, but I can't pull the trigger on something like that, you know?
That's when I wonder how real those game time ads are about how cheap those tickets get at the last second.
Pass is caught. Sean Moore. I don't trust it because I tried one of those apps, Tick Pick.
Yeah.
Show up to the game. Someone else had the same tickets, and they're like, "Oh, you got scammed," but they didn't kick us out because we were already in the building.
Yeah, it's like I thought it would be saving money if I went that direction, and it was clearly cheaper or whatever. And
we got track races going on down here now. What?
A lot of people are having fun in this blowout here. It's a lot more fun. This is a much more fun blowout for the Mutiny faithful.
Yes, absolutely. More to celebrate. Dropping back with a dart of a pass that was just dropped was Streckfus. The drop goes to Revis. But they can afford to make a miss like that.
I think one of those game time kind of apps would be pretty solid. You live in Boston, especially college student in Boston, you can just, it's 5 minutes before the game. Why not?
I can't afford to do that, with time-wise and travel,
Yeah. Imagine taking a trip up there just for it to not work.
It's kind of like the Student Nines. I have not taken it. I've been signed up for those. I have not taken advantage of them yet because it's too.
The best opportunity was definitely the most recent one. They had one for the Texas Rangers.
Snap is botched, and he drops it again while being stacked, but there's going to be a flag. That Rangers day game, it was rainy that day, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was rainy that day, but they ended up getting it in.
Who won that?
It was the Red Sox, I think.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, I've been signed up for 4 years. I never had a chance where I could just go on the spur, That's the downside of those. But I'm going on the 20th My Mets happened to be at Fenway days after I graduate, so that worked out nicely. So and we got really good seats.
Yeah.
Really good seats.
My first known appearance back at Fenway, which is easily the best place on earth.
I love it at Fenway as a opposing fan, even like.
Or I guess I'll be there for the Cape League Fenway Day, but an actual game is the Savannah Bananas.
Really?
Scoring tickets for those. I know somehow they're controversial between people, but
I don't get why. It's pretty harmless.
Harmless, grows the sport.
It's like the Globetrotters, you know.
It attracts a completely different demographic too.
They're
which
like,
is one of the biggest things.
It's gonna outgrow the game. Who cares? Like it's like going to the Globetrotters, you know.
Yeah, I'd put them over the Globetrotters. Globetrotters are more of an attraction, you know.
They used to be. They're past their prime.
Having both teams equally have a chance to win. I mean, there's some like stuff that can go on during the game where it's like, okay, maybe the Savannah Bananas are benefiting a bit more here, that the Party Animals are doing tricks.
Well, also they're newer.
Yeah, they're newer, but like they're growing. Like next season, it's going to be a full league with multiple teams all playing banana ball and a playoffs at the end. It's like, okay, there's competition here.
Now it's like
And like
teams that can all attract.
they're contracted with games on ESPN Plus and Disney Plus. Like they're live on
right now
national
they're bigger than the
broadcasts.
Globetrotters.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like it's similar to when the Globetrotters were new. You know what I mean?
4 minutes left to go.
Just
Why is it the clock?
Because there was a
stopped for
timeout a second
timeout
ago.
here.
My bad, my bad. Last champion.
I think the Red Sox might be turning a corner, though. They're stringing together some wins. They're not too pretty, but they're doing it.
I hope they don't on May 20th. That's all I mean, I don't hate the Red Sox. I think the Red Sox and Mets have a sort of a nice bond going. Consider them like a second favorite, you know, but I need to see a Mets win at Fenway as 17 rolls out. Lets it fly. Prime interception is caught. Isaiah Edwards continues a monster game. That was lofted right to him.
Yeah, on the money. And you mentioned it could have been a potential interception maybe, and it turns into another big gain right into the red zone for the Mutiny. In the final 4 minutes of this game here at 9:15 p.m. So 2 breezy games when it really gets down to it. A couple bumps along the road and plenty of scoring. Only on one side both times, but breezing through another weekend with the NEYT and with the Southern New London County Mutiny. And both games, again, available on demand on the Fans Only Sports Network immediately upon the conclusion of the broadcast. Just head to the live tab, find it there, or even just look up the game. You'll probably be able to find it if you look up the title of the video, or at least get close enough. And you'll be able to find the SNLC Mutiny on YouTube. And you'll even be able to go back to those 2021 broadcasts that we mentioned earlier as potential touchdown play here. It's always a potential touchdown play with the Mutiny. They're coming up with the ball now. 2nd and 9. Approaching 2 minutes to go.
Mutiny looking for one more little show here. Maybe get Isaiah Edwards another touchdown when he came out so close. Got 2 minutes to play with. Why not? He backs up. Strike fist. Rolling to the left. A long dart throw is too low for his intended target, Quamel Wright.
And now, as a team, do you think, you read their fact sheet, they consider themselves one team despite being split to 14 and 15U.
Yeah.
Do you consider today a win for the program?
Well, technically, if you're going by score differential, no. But it's not a loss. It's you broke even today. broke even today. I don't know how else. It's like splitting a doubleheader.
Yeah. By the way it looks from their opponents, too. They beat the team that they should have beat, and they fell to the team that they should have fell to with those kind of final scores.
Yeah. Big sack there, and wisely holding onto the ball was Streckvis.
The Mutiny sideline already packing up for the most part.
This is one of those moments where you just kneel it in.
Make
Or-
it official here. Or drop back.
Ducking. Long throw is almost intercepted and bounces out of bounds. And that should do it for us unless they're really desperate to get one last play in. Doesn't appear to be. We'll wind off the last 20 seconds of this game. A resounding victory for the Mutiny. Huge games from Streckvis, who had 2 touchdowns, and Isaiah Edwards, who should have had at minimum 3. But your final score, Mutiny 34, Rebels 0 on a victory day for the program. The 15U squad gets the win. You can see the celebrations there. Charlie, final thoughts as we wrap up this doubleheader?
Yeah, after a tough go of it to start off with the 14Us, they definitely bounced back, and bounced back as well from last week where both teams took a loss. The 15Us took a tough loss that they really could have made a close game and potentially won. So it's good to see them come around and take this one by a wide margin.
Your final score again, Mutiny 34, Rebels nothing. Thank you for tuning in with us here on the Fans Only Sports Network. For Charlie Adams, this is Andrew Fiore signing off. Happy Mother's Day, folks.